Alright, listen up. If you are under 30 right now, you are probably getting absolutely bombarded with the same exact message. Find your passion, build your empire, turn your hobbies into income. It is this overwhelming pressure to find your life's purpose, and it usually just leaves us all feeling completely overwhelmed. And instead of being helpful, a lot of this advice just feels like homework that we never even signed up for. It is exhausting. So in this video, I want to break down why this traditional idea of finding your purpose usually backfires, and then give you a more realistic, a healthier way to actually figure out what you are meant to do. Because trust me, you are not broken. The system is, finding your purpose early definitely feels like a pressure cooker. And what I mean by that is it genuinely feels like there is a timer to turn our lives on, right? A lot of the times by 22, people say you are supposed to have your dream job. And by 25, you are supposed to have your passion figured out. And by 30, well, at that point, you better have a full career, kids, a relationship, a side hustle, investments, and be rich. And that, my friends, is the narrative that a lot of us grew up with. And what makes it even worse, you ask? Social media. If you open TikTok or Instagram, it looks like every single 24-year-old is either a millionaire or a digital nomad, or the founder of some earth-shattering company or running a passion-driven business from a rooftop in Dubai. Meanwhile, you are over here just trying to figure out what you enjoy and put food on the table. It is a mess, and what most people do not realize is that this type of pressure, this manufactured urgency, it is not motivating for a lot of people. And for me in particular, it does the exact opposite. So when you feel like you need to get it perfect on the very first try, well, at that point, you get terrified to start anything at all. You end up doing absolutely nothing, because the idea of choosing quote-unquote wrong feels fatal. It feels like the end of the world. So instead of helping you find your purpose, this suffocating pressure actually shuts you down. It makes you freeze. And then there is this overwhelming myth of the Eureka moment, right? Most of us were taught that at some point we are going to feel this dramatic, movie-like moment. Like one day the sky is going to open up, a beam of light is going to hit us, and we are suddenly going to know our one true purpose. But let us be honest, real life does not work like that. That is Hollywood nonsense. Purpose is not a lightning bolt that strikes you out of the blue. It is a very slow build-up over time. It is tiny breadcrumbs that you are going to follow through life, without even realizing it. It is the things you are curious about, the people you admire, the work that energizes you instead of drains you dry. And here is the mistake that so many people make. Most people treat purpose like one single fixed destination that they need to find by 22 years old. But your purpose is going to evolve. It changes with new seasons of your life. It grows as you grow. It is not static. So if you cling too tightly to one rigid idea of what your purpose should be, you end up boxing yourself in. You stifle your own growth. And the worst part, a lot of people try to think their way into purpose. They journal, they overanalyze every single thought, they take 100 personality tests. But the truth is, purpose comes from experience, not analysis. You do not figure it out by thinking, you figure it out by living, by doing, by trying. And then there is this insidious trap of external validation. Another thing that messes a lot of people up is basing their purpose on what other people value. It is a social media sickness. A lot of people chase careers that sound good to other people, but do not feel good to themselves. They pursue impressive titles, not genuine interests. They want jobs that impress their parents, their classmates, their Instagram followers, all for that fleeting applause. And because of that, they end up in quote-unquote purpose-driven careers that are really just rebranded rat races. They look meaningful and shiny on the outside, but they drain you completely on the inside. And when you chase that external validation, well, at that point, you are not actually searching for your purpose. You are searching for applause from other people. And the dangerous part of that is external success can trick you into thinking you are fulfilled, until one day you wake up and you realize you built a life that looks great on paper. But honestly, it feels very, very empty. So purpose has to be internal before it can ever be external. Always. So let us get into some actionable steps here that will actually go through ways to try to find your purpose. Now these are 7 steps that I think can help a lot of people. They certainly helped me, and the first step is to follow your curiosity and not some rigid plan you put in place. A lot of people feel stuck because they think they need this massive 10-year plan to even get started. They think purpose only arrives after you map out your entire life. But the reality is, most people who end up doing something truly meaningful did not start with clarity at all. They started with curiosity, pure and simple. And curiosity, once again, it is like those little breadcrumbs your life drops for you. It shows up in the topics that you naturally find yourself researching late at night, or the things you naturally find yourself ranting about to your friends, or the weird hobbies that you wish you had more time for. Maybe the problems that frustrate you more than they should. Those little nudges. Most people ignore those things because they feel too small, or not serious enough in the moment. But that is the whole point. Purpose usually starts very small, Every big passion begins as a tiny little spark that you usually do not think much about. And when something continues to pull your attention over and over again, well, that is not random. That is your brain saying, hey, look here, pay attention. And the funny thing is, the more you follow those small, seemingly insignificant pulls, the more they compound into large, undeniable clarity. So curiosity, very much, is direction. You just have to trust it enough to follow it without needing the whole map at first. You do not need the full picture, just the next step. So the next step would be, look at what you are naturally good at, but do not value yet. This is huge. The crazy thing about purpose is that it is often hiding inside the strengths you brush off, because they feel too easy. We have all done things that we are just naturally good at. Things we have done our whole lives without realizing their actual skills, their actual value. But because they come so naturally, we convince ourselves that they do not matter, or that it is not a big deal. You know, maybe you are the friend that everyone comes to for advice, the unofficial therapist of your group. Maybe you are the one who is calm under pressure, who can handle any crisis. Maybe you are the super organized person who makes everything look effortless. Maybe you are the one that is really good at explaining complex things clearly, breaking it down for everyone. Maybe you are the creative artistic one, but you downplay it. You call it just a hobby. Or maybe you are the problem solver in your group without even trying. You just see solutions. Those things are not random. Those are little signals that build towards your purpose. They are clues. And a lot of people struggle because they try to force their purpose into something that does not align with who they actually are. It is like trying to fit a square peg in a round hole, but when you start to lean into the things you are already wired for, well, at that point, everything becomes a little bit easier. It flows. Your strengths are not accidents. They are clues. And purpose usually sits right next to those strengths, waiting for you to notice. Step number 3 is you need to put yourself in rooms that expand you. This is critical. Purpose does not grow when everything around you stays the exact same. You cannot discover who you are meant to be if you are stuck cycling through the same routines, the same conversations, the same job, the same environment day in and day out. You will become a slightly improved version of your old self, but you will never truly become a new version of yourself. A fully realized version and real clarity comes from when you put yourself in new rooms, places that show you different versions of life that you had no idea even existed. A new job, a new hobby, a new city, a new group of friends, a new challenge that maybe you did not feel ready for. All of these things stretch who you are as a person. They make your world bigger, they expand your horizons, and when your world expands, well, you naturally expand with it. It is inevitable. And most breakthroughs do not happen in an area of comfort. You know, they happen when you step into a space where you are not the most skilled or you are not the most knowledgeable, but you are curious, you are eager to learn. New environments show you possibilities. Where your old environments were never capable of showing you, they open your eyes to what is truly out there. Step number 4 is to study what drains you versus what gives you energy. And this one is huge because we are always told to chase what we love. But no one talks about how powerful it is to track what completely drains you, what sucks the life out of you. Every path in life has hard moments. That is a given, but not all hard moments feel the same. Some challenges leave you exhausted and completely checked out. You feel like you have run a marathon, and other ones strangely leave you fulfilled and wanting more. They energize you, and a lot of people could find their purpose faster if they simply paid attention to their energy. It is your internal compass. When do you feel the most alive? When do you feel like time is just flying by? When do you feel proud afterward, even if it was difficult? And on the flip side, when do you feel like your soul is just being sucked out of your body? Those moments matter. Pay attention. Your energy is more honest than your logic. You might convince yourself something is the smart or safe path. You might rationalize it 100 ways. But your energy is going to be the thing that truly tells you instantly. That is a sign you are moving in the right direction, a big green light when something constantly drains you, no matter how much money you are getting paid, or no matter how cool your title is. If it is constantly draining you, that is a sign you are moving away from it. It is a big red flag. For a lot of people, energy is going to be that compass. If you listen to it, you will know which direction to point yourself towards, to find your purpose. It is that simple. And step number 5 is, do more things that scare you. But in a good way, I think a lot of people forget this. But the things you are scared to try are usually the exact things that matter the most, the things that will push you forward. And I am not talking about skydiving, or if you have a fear of water or going. Sometimes it is purpose trying to get your attention. It is whispering to you, the thing you keep thinking about doing, the business idea that keeps nagging at you, the job application you are hesitant to send, the message you want to send to that person, the skill you want to learn, the moves you want to make. You are not scared of it because it is wrong. You are scared of it because it is meaningful, because it holds potential. And fear shows up when you are near something that could actually change your life. It is a powerful indicator, and most of us walk away from that feeling. Because we confuse fear with a stop sign, we think, "Oh, I am scared, I should not do this," but it is really a signal. It is a green light in disguise. Purpose almost always hides behind the door you are intimidated to open. It is waiting for you on the other side, and most people never unlock their true purpose because they avoid the very thing that makes them nervous. But purpose requires stretching yourself. You do not grow in comfort, you grow in motion, in discomfort, and in moments where you feel like you are slightly out of your league, but still willing to show up, still willing to try. That is where the magic happens. And step number 6 is, you have to realize purpose evolves, but that is a good thing. One of the most freeing realizations is that your purpose is allowed to evolve. It is not set in stone. The thing that fulfills you at 22, to be honest, should not be the same thing that fulfills you at 27 or 30 or 35. You grow, you learn, you change. And that purpose changes with you. It is a dynamic process. You hear a lot of people saying, well, the best advice is to never change. And realistically, that is not good advice at all. That is terrible advice. A lot of people get stuck because they are trying to force themselves into an identity that they have outgrown. They treat purpose like a lifelong commitment instead of something that shifts with every new chapter, with every new experience. But your purpose is a conversation with yourself, an ongoing dialogue, and not a rigid contract that you sign at a young age. Think about where you were 5 years ago. You are probably nothing like that person anymore. You have grown, you have changed. So why would your purpose stay the same? Let it change, let it evolve as you evolve. Embrace the fluidity. And when you allow your purpose to grow with you instead of locking yourself into a box, at that point, everything will start to become more aligned and a lot less stressful. It is a breath of fresh air in step number 7, which is the last step here, is do not wait for clarity. And this one is big, right? This one is very important. Clarity does not magically appear before you take action. It does not descend upon you in a flash. Clarity is something that you will create through action, through doing. You do not sit on your couch thinking your way into purpose. You will figure it out in motion. It comes from trying things, from experimenting, from messing up, from seeing what sticks and what does not. It is a process of trial and error. It comes from taking a small step, and then another small step, and letting the results teach you who you are, what you enjoy, what you are good at. People who wait for confidence or wait for the perfect plan, well, those are the ones who stay stuck. They remain paralyzed by inaction. But the people who might start messy and just, throw something at the wall till it sticks, even when they have no idea what they are doing, they are the ones who build confidence naturally. They gain momentum. Purpose does not show up in your mind first. It shows up in your actions, your routines, and your efforts, in the small, consistent things you do, so do not wait for the perfect plan, or the perfect idea, or the perfect moment. Just start small. Start unsure, start nervous, but start, because everything you want becomes clearer after you take that first step of action and not before it. It is a fundamental truth. So if you are watching this video and you do not know your purpose yet, I am telling you that is good. You are exactly where you are supposed to be. You are not behind. You are not failing. You are not lost. You are just exploring. You are on the journey. The old traditional model of figure out your passion at 18 or 20 and stick to it forever is dead. It is an outdated concept. The new model is very fluid. Explore, experiment, follow your curiosities, grow through small actions,